Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Demi. I am a senior at University of California, Los Angeles. I am studying graphic design and I also do have an Instagram, so please check it out. In this video, I am going to talk about my experience with the therapy and also discuss whether you should have a therapy even you're not struggling anything big or particular in your life. Now let's get started. So first, I'd like to talk about why I decided to have a therapy. So I am 22 years old and I'm a senior at the university, and I would say I'm not suffering any particular disorders or any mental illness right now, but I've been throughout my life I always have really interesting relationship with my parents, and even though I didn't think it was serious, it got really bad last year during quarantine. Related to my relationship with my parents, I feel like I've always had this academic pressure or just feeling I'm not enough no matter what I do. Also, I was struggling with my identity since I spent my first 20 years in Japan and moved to America when I was 20, and I've been spending the last 3 years mainly in America. It's such a big major change for me, and I felt like I've always had this constant questions in my mind that I don't even know the answers. And lastly, I am an anxious person in general. Like since I was born, I've been like that way. I think because when I was young, I've seen my mom always like worried about everything. Like what if I get hit by a car? What if I get like kidnapped? You know, like a basic mom thing. Under her influence, I definitely think that I got a lot more anxious in general. So if I have to say why I decided to have a therapy, then I think those are the things that push me to have a therapy. Now, with that being said, the main question in this video is that do you need therapy? My short answer will be yes, you need a therapy. Let me explain this for a bit, because I feel like, especially I'm 23 years old, and when I talk with my friends around the same age and in the same environment, like they're in university, although they don't seem have a major issue, I do know that everyone struggles with something that they don't even talk about. My main reason that why I didn't have therapy for the first 22 years of my life was that I always felt like I don't deserve a therapy, because I've seen people like on TV struggling with the mental illness or eating disorder or any kind of like physical effect from their mental. I felt like, but I am most of the time happy and I am not having any issue physically, therefore I do not deserve therapy. I actually talk about that with my therapist, but she was like, no, if you think that way, then let's say there are people that die from hunger or disease in this world. At this moment, there are people definitely going through a lot worse than you are. Therefore, you don't deserve to be sad. And if you think that way, it doesn't really make sense, you know? Like, you can't compare yourself to others because they're going through something bigger than you're going through. If you're thinking same as me, that you're thinking, oh, I don't deserve therapy, then I recommend you to change your mindset and do not think that way. And also, even you think like, I am happy, are you really happy, or are you just avoiding your issue? That's also me. When I got the therapy, like I realized that, oh, like I thought I was okay, but apparently like I'm not. Like trust me, if you talk with a professional and get their perspective on your life, just think about it. Are you really happy, or are you really happy, or you're just avoiding your issues? Next, I talk about how I got my therapy. So I know that therapy is really, really expensive in general, especially if you're a college student or university student. I do understand that it is a lot harder to afford therapy. However, if you're in school, I'm 100% sure that your school offers some kind of like therapy or mental support system. So for my situation, I go UCLA, so I went to UCLA website, and then so you can just type your school name and then therapy, For this, UCLA offers counseling or therapy or whatever you want to call it. And then you scroll down for the UCLA. Here is services. Then you go prepare for your initial appointment. You click it and you call this number. So they have all the instructions right here. So I call the number, they ask you a couple questions and you answer. And I think I called them on Monday and they gave me the initial appointment for on Wednesday, which is really quick. So I highly recommend check your school. If you have a health insurance from your school, then it should cost you nothing to take a counseling or therapy. For me, I have my private health insurance, so I pay $15 for each session and I only can take 4 sessions per semester. But I think it is definitely so much better than nothing, and then $15 is way cheaper than regular therapy. So I highly recommend to check them out. So far I had 3 sessions with my therapist and I learned so much already. So I'm gonna talk about things I learned from therapy. Number 1 is writing helps you a ton. I used to have this, because as I said, I'm an anxious person. Sometimes I have this wave of emotions out of nowhere. It starts from like one thing.
Let's say I start thinking about, oh, I didn't get my grade for my classes yet. And then I start thinking, what if I go OD for the homeworks and I fail this class? Then I have to delay my graduation, and then my dad's gonna get mad. He's gonna think I'm a failure. I'm not gonna get any good job, or like
this random thought starts happening. I know that it is not logical, but I can't stop doing it. So I talk about it with my therapist, and then she told me that writing helps you so much. Write down everything that you feel anxious about, you feel worried about. And I do that, and then immediately, like, I swear to God, just seeing what you are worried about, organize rather than just spread everywhere. It's so good. Yeah, that's why I always have my my journal. I don't do this every single day. I do say that it is not like a instant solution for your problem, but I feel maybe like 50% better after I write down. If you wanna take your first step to feel better, then writing down is super easy, super quick, doesn't cost anything. So yeah. Next thing is having feeling is okay. On my first session with my therapist, I told her, hey, I'm always anxious and I don't like having anxiety all the time. How can I stop being anxious? And she told me, no, you shouldn't think that way. And actually, being anxious is okay. And it's more about how you deal with your anxiety. Realize that my approach throughout my whole life was kind of wrong. I don't want to say it in a bad way, but she gave me this perspective that having anxiety is okay. It's more about how can I cohabitate with my anxiety. That was a really good thing to know. And also last session I also talk about that I have my best friend, talking with her on the phone, and she was like, oh, I got the internship that I always wanted and I'm so happy. I'm gonna start at the end of this week, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, congratulations. I did think that I'm happy for her, but at the same time I find myself also being jealous and also not being happy for her 100%. And I felt so bad about it, and I talk about that with my therapist, and she was like, no one's perfect. If you have jealousy, that is okay. Having feelings is okay. If you take some kind of action from that feeling, then that will be a problem. But having feeling just for yourself is completely fine, and you shouldn't be beating up yourself for having that kind of negative emotion. And that made me like, I don't know, I just felt so light. I felt relieved to hear it from her. So that was also another takeaway. So the next thing is emotions aren't fact. Now this is really mind-blowing to me. You can't separate anything in your mind for 2 things. One is fact and next one is emotion. So let's say you think that, oh, my boyfriend is cheating. That in your mind, is it a fact or just emotions? Like, do you have a proof or evidence that you have to think that way? Most of the time, if you're anxious about something, they're probably not fact. You're probably thinking like, what if? Because whatever you have in your mind, 90% of the things are from your side. So you don't have any other person's perspective. I realized that after the therapy that you shouldn't be wasting your time for something that is not a fact. I learned that from therapy, but I actually found a really good post from Instagram the other day. I quote, no amount of anxiety makes any difference to anything that's going to happen. That emotions aren't fact. Also another thing that I do realize that you have to be patient. You have to think about your mental as like same as your muscle. Like if you want to gain your muscle, you go to gym every single day. But if you work so hard on gym every single day for a month, you're probably not gonna see the result that you want to see. This is not the overnight thing that you can achieve. You have to be patient with yourself, especially if you're not seeing any result for the first few sessions with the therapy. Maybe you should change the therapist, or maybe you should try another way to work on with your mental situation. I don't think you should quit just because it didn't work out for the first few sessions. Like, you have to be patient, you have to work on it, you have to show up every time. I don't want you to be hard on yourself. What you should be focused on is being happy as who you are and not trying to be happy 24/7, if that makes sense. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am trying to upload every week. And also thank you so much for 62 people already subscribed. You guys are amazing. I hope every single one of you are having a great summer. And also I have an Instagram. Check it out if you want. So yeah. And also comment down below what kind of video you want me to make around like UCLA or like life in LA, anything. Please drop down a comment and I'll stop by to say hi. And that is it. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.